Do you know what happens if you're under contract for new construction and interest rates outpace your pre-approval letter? Hey, everybody, this is Terrence with Boykin Realty, and I'm here today to answer the question which truly has come to hit a lot of people right in the face these days is what happens if you're under contract for new construction and interest rates rise to the point that you no longer qualify for your loan? Have you guys heard of this happening? Do you know what to do to prevent that? Well, I'm here today with Rich Cohen of Movement Mortgage, and he has seen several people come across this problem, and he's found a couple solutions for it. Rich, could you tell us a little bit about what happens when the interest rates outpace a person's pre-approval, and maybe a couple of the solutions you found for it?
Well, first off, thanks for having me today. And interestingly enough, it happens to me. I do a significant amount of new construction. So one of the solutions is extended rate locks. Now, extended rate locks are available especially for new construction, if you're closing further out than 4 months. We offer extended rate locks even up to 12 months. And the purpose of it is to obviously give the client as much confidence in purchasing a house without rates skyrocketing. I know there's a lot of people out there who think rates are going to go to 7 or 8%. I personally do not think that, but they need confidence when they're buying a house. So extended rate locks work in the following manner. You actually pay for it up front. You pay a half a point up front, which you are reimbursed at closing if you extend a lock for 4 months and 6 months. If you go to 9 months or 12 months, you're still paying that same half a point, but you get back half the amount of money, and 12 months you don't get a refund at all. The purpose of all of this is really just to keep the client qualified, because quite honestly, clients will find out they're not qualified 3-4 months later because the rates in this particular case might be 7 or 8%. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense, Rich. And I've got a client right now. We went under contract in November of 2021 for a home that is to be completed in October or November of 2022. Interest rates have gone up a ton since that point. And we had to sit down with his lender about a month ago to restructure his loan so that we wouldn't have any issues. I also have another client that is going under contract this week for new construction, which won't be completed until February. I reached out to her family this weekend and I said, guys, I recommend you locking that mortgage rate in because I have a feeling that we're going to see some changes and that could really save you money. At the time, I didn't think about, when I hear buy the rate down, I think you're just spending money. I didn't think about they would get that money refunded at closing.
Mm-hmm. So extended rate locks are one of the things. I have the same problem. I have clients that have bought in January, they were at 3%. Today, they're at 6%, right? So the one solution to that, to qualify them, kind of backdoor qualifying, is to do what's called a 2-1 buy down. So the purpose of that buy down is, let's use, for example, today's rate 6%. You can, for the first 2 years, be given a rate of 4% and then 5% for the second year. Now, there's other parts to it, such as paying all of that interest at closing. Now, you might go, well, the buyer's not going to want to pay that extra closing cost. Well, this allows the builder to contribute towards closing costs for builders. And we know builders did not want to contribute before, but guess what? They're very anxious to make these loans stick, make these home purchases stick. A lot of them are going to run into issues in the next 3 or 4 months. They're going to find out that their buyer from January is not qualified. And they're going to hear this quite often.
Actually, I'm going to have you call the client that we just talked about that's going under contract this week. I'm going to have you call her once we get off the phone, because this has been some pretty good information.
Yeah.
Any other pointers that you can give people, not only around new construction, but possibly around regular resale with financing and when it makes sense to lock in?
So I'm going to say a lot of this goes on a case by case basis, but the most important part is I think that buyers don't really understand the way rates are working relative to the Fed's talking. So the Feds are scaring the hell out of everybody. People call me and go, rates are going up this week. When, as you're aware, mortgage rates act kind of like stocks. So they act in, on future rates. So in my opinion, I think that going forward, I think rates are going to stay reasonably level. And I think that each one, I think the 2-1 buy down is going to become more and more important, because most buyers are going to refinance in the next 3 or 4 years. That's the most important thing that everybody should know. There'll be a refi boom in 3 or 4 years from now, so people will be walking away from these loans.
Got it. Great information, Rich. And to you people out there, if you're thinking about buying new construction, I recommend you reach out to Rich. If you're already under contract for new construction, you can still change your lender at any time. I recommend you reach out to Rich, especially if you have never heard terms like this come out of your lender's mouth. They may not even know that these things exist. Believe it or not, a lot of them may not know that. So it's in your best benefit to get the best loan package you can. Rich, what's the best way for everybody to get in contact with you?
My cell phone, 919-616-4912. Texting me is best. It's Rich Cohen from Movement Mortgage. That's right.
And Rich isn't one of those people that just came into the lending 2, 3, 4 years ago. I'm not going to say how long he's been doing it, because that'll tell how old both of us are, but he's been doing it for a long time. So you can go with him. Thanks for helping us out today, Rich.
Anyway, thank you very much for having me.
See ya.